What's good with y'all, man? It's your boy AceMaceo, the Divine One. Tonight, we are going back to kemet. We are going to kemet tonight, man. Tonight we're talking about bune of the goetia, so-called demon of finance, abundance, prosperity, wealth, as well as necromancy. Necromancy, if you don't know, is working with spirits that have passed on. You or yourself as spirits. So I'm talking about the dead relatives, ancestors, friends, anyone that's passed on. That is necromancy. Working with them is necromancy. So in this video, what we are discussing is a pathworking experience meditation I had with a bune, and I had these visions, and this is the gnosis of the symbology that I saw and that I'm bringing back. So before I get into it, I do want to state that the point of what bune is trying to convey here, the point of this video, that being that bune is more than a money demon, more than a spirit of just money in a monetary gain. All right, this necromantic aspect to her is very slept on, as well as many other aspects of her being. Okay, so let's get into it. First, let's go with how I got into the path working. All right, and then I'll just go based on the symbols that I've seen, and then go in deeper how it all connects. Okay, so bune is also known as the Egyptian deity Wajet. Now, in her being this Egyptian deity, that means bune is, or Wajet is, an aspect of the same energy. So through them, their energies are similar. I can connect to and understand them from a different perspective and level. Okay, more on an esoteric spiritual level. All right, so with that being said, when I first went into this meditation, to this path working, I saw pyramids. I saw pyramids. All right, and when I seen these pyramids, I was like, this is interesting, because they didn't look like normal pyramids, like not like Mayan pyramids, not no even Egyptian pyramids. They were a little different. So what I did is I seen that between all these pyramids, I could see there was actually some mountains in the distance. So I teleported myself to these mountains, because see, this is a path work in a meditation. It's like astral traveling. All right, so it's like I'm outside of the matrix, like Neo. I can do whatever. All right, and this is all going within. This is in the realms of the subconscious. Okay, check out my video, Meditation and Magic 101. In that vid, I explained the purpose of meditation and path work, and how one is going in, tapping in within to the world within, because as above, so below. And then within it all just comes to you as symbols, symbology. Okay, so to get into this space to connect with bune's energy, all right, first what I did is I set up the altar space to align with her energy. So on it, what I had was, here's a couple things I had sandalwood, dragon's blood incense, her sigil. I had an orange for her, because she likes the oranges. I think I gave her some wine. I think I had some Stella Rosa. That's really all you need. It's just something simple. And then from that part on, then I had a candle with my blood, and we got it going, got it popping. So I'm sitting there in the meditation with this incense, got it all setting into this energy, syncing the feeling I call it. So as I breathe in, I breathe in, then when I breathe out, I sink. I can feel myself sinking. It's an internal sink. All right, that's just sinking deeper and deeper in within into the darkness. All right, and as I'm doing this mentally, I'm chanting her name as well as her end. Wel Milan Avaj Bune Tasa. Wel Milan Avaj Bune Tasa. Just repeatedly saying that, and then when it starts messing up, if you're mentally chanting it or vocally chanting it, you start messing up. That's when you know you're tapping in. So when I started messing up, I just sat back and I started sinking just deeper more and just waited for the visions to come, or whatever astral sense I picked up first. And first what came was the sight, and what I seen was the pyramids. So like I said, I was at this so I teleported to the mountain. Then when I did a 180-degree turn looking behind me now at this mountain, I seen the landscape. And the landscape, what it was a pyramid city. So it wasn't like a city within a pyramid. Nah, it was like the layout of a city, right? Let's see, it was like on a hill in like Cali, right? And you could see the whole city, right? Imagine you seeing that, but it's a desert, and all the buildings are pyramid based, all the cars are pyramid based, and then you have flying cars, flying jets, but they're all pyramid based. The architecture is pyramid based. The geometrics was completely different. So I was like, okay, interesting. But since I've seen these pyramids and the pyramid foundation to it, I was like, okay, this is, and it gave me another idea of clairvoyantly, energetically, I was getting the ancient future. All right, like I think the name is William Chandler's Ancient Future book. He's talking about ancient kemet. And if y'all didn't know, these ancient civilizations, the people were much more advanced than us now. All right, the civilization was much more advanced. So another book that talks about that is my man's Graham Hancock. He got a whole bunch of books. I think he got a book called America Before. He got a couple of books, Graham Hancock, but his books talks about as well as these ancient civilizations are much older than we think, as well as they're much more advanced than we think. And that Graham Hancock, that phenomenon right there is initially what got me started in consciousness and like the spiritual shit, because I was originally a conspiracy guy. But that Graham Hancock, and when I learned about these ancient civilizations being older than what, 6,000 years, and instead being like 100,000 years, I was like, okay, that was like my initial point. And that coming through right now is actually pretty profound, because this whole time in our Bune connection, I never even thought about that. But that makes sense. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. These spirits have always been around. They're just always working on a subconscious level. They may be teaching you or showing you things on a subconscious level that are always going to come back up type shit. So in Bune's case, ancient civilization. So we're with Egypt, real ancient. Bune is also known as, like I said, the Egyptian deity Wajet. Now this Wajet is a serpent. Now Bune is described as being a dragon with three forms: a dog, a griffin, and a man, but she's a dragon. The dragon is also connected to the symbol in the animal, the snake. Okay, now when I see this snake symbol, I get the energy of Kundalini, transformation, alchemy. All right, sexual energy, and that is all other aspects of Bune. Okay, so from there, when I noticed, I understood. I was like, okay, I'm in the right place. All right, I got the understanding that I was like, all right, I'm in the right place. Where is Bune at? All right, because I had never went to go actually see Bune. I had never did this before, so this is my first time doing that. And what came to me was very interesting. The next part of this pathwork was very interesting. So before I was just seeing stuff, the next thing out of nowhere, I started smelling catfish, like fried catfish. I could smell it. I was like, good Lord, it smelled amazing. Fried catfish is one of my favorite foods, by the way. But I smelt it astrally, and I was like, I like came out of the meditation for a minute, and I like looked around. I was like, cause I had cat at that time. I had catfish for a minute, so I was like, nigga, did somebody come in the house with the fucking catfish? Nope. Then I looked at the incense, and I was like, interesting. The incense, like I said, the incense I was using was sandalwood and dragon's blood. Now, the mix of them do not, to me, originally did not smell like catfish. Even if it was lit light some right now, I ain't got any lit right now, but I'm light something later. They don't smell like catfish. They smell like sandalwood and dragon's blood. But with sandalwood and dragon's blood I can understand how the spirit would make, or my subconscious would interpret it as catfish. Alright, because with sandalwood, it helps you connect to spirits, helps you get in that trance, alright, in these calmer states. You look into aromatherapy to understand more what incense do on a practical level. But so I could definitely see how that was going on, especially as well as Bune coming from that psychic ability, that clairvoyant aspect, opening that up. Alright, because we're dealing with another astral. Now we're dealing with astral smell. First it was sight that I was seeing all, then there was clairvoyance, understanding what was going on, where I was at. That was clairvoyance. And then the smell, I was like, okay, now let me follow the smell. So I followed the smell astrally. I went back into the trance, went right back to where I was, and it took me to this little hut, this little shack, and in it was a little kitchen. Dude cooking up. Now, dude cooking up was looking like bro from Futurama. I forgot his name, but bro, red little dark dude. But dude was a cook and he was a crab. But they looked like bro from Futurama. I'll put a picture up. And then he was like, what did he put? I gotta go back on my notes. What did he say? What did bro say? Hold on. So he said, alright, so he was like, he said he was the chef for me and Miss Bune. And he was telling me to take a seat. She's waiting. And then when I went through these doors, this is when I could understand we was dealing with interdimensional type shit, because I was in a desert. Then there was this little shack. In this shack there was a kitchen that was bigger, but in the shack it was bigger on the inside, like a TARDIS from Doctor Who. So it was bigger on the inside, and it was this whole kitchen. Bro was cooking up, it was whipping. And then he behind him in this other door, it was a whole other room, little dining room, that if you was to look out the window you would see a desert, but if you look into this room you could see a whole room going into where this desert would be, but it's not the desert. Alright, so it's like you're going through dimensions. Alright, it's like a room inside. It's like, think of a dream inside a dream, a room inside a room inside a room. But if you have seen Doctor Who and understand how a room could be bigger on the inside, you know what I'm talking about. But so I go to the dining table into this other room, and my whole focus is on the Bune at this point, trying to understand what am I saying. Alright, now I just teleport to the table, and she's sitting in front of me, and she's to my right. she's beautiful. She's looking amazing. All right, her face was constantly shifting. All right, now I can understand that from the dragon and serpentine aspect. I understand why it's constantly shifting. That's transformation, as a snake does. The shedding its skin type shit. All right. This was interesting, but I can't make it. Her face constantly shifting, but I can't make out who, or better, what she is. That's what I wrote. So, yeah, so like that's what I mean by the snake. But when I wrote that, what I meant was, cause the faces she was shifting between different women I've seen. All right, different crushes I've had. That's the faces she was shifting between, and there were certain crushes. There were certain women that she was showing as. She wasn't just showing as all of them. She was just showing up as certain ones. So that's how I knew what she was trying to portray. And I would get into that. But then over time she just like solidified onto one specific one. All right. And it was this dark skin one, chocolate skin, radiant, no imperfections. Like, I'm still trying to figure out how this girl's skin routine is this goddamn good. Goddamn, I need y'all to sing a goddamn skin routine. I know y'all be like, just water, man. Ain't no damn just water, man. But then she had golden jewelry, bracelets, necklaces. Then she had like an orange and leather dress. All right, her hair or / wig, and clairvoyantly I got like it was a wig type shit, but that just speaks to like the aspect of being like a deific mask, all right, or having a masking. So niggas, but the hair, it was green, and then it went to blonde. Like it was green to blonde ombre, if y'all know what ombre hair looks like. But it went like green at the roots, and then it went down into blonde. And then at the edges it was snakes. The snakes, I was like, okay, this is it's giving Medusa transformation, little Medusa vibes. So I was like, oh, okay. And I think around the time I was messing with Bune earlier on, about like earlier last year, I think that Medusa aspect definitely came through in my deity studies, synchronistically. So definitely gonna look in more into that in a Medusa deity study, as well as we are gonna do a Wadjet deity study, and that Wadjet deity study will be on Patreon though, because we're gonna channel a ritual, a path working to the Wadjet aspect specifically, and working with the energy for a ritual. All right, and that'll be on my Patreon. The Medusa, we're gonna see. Because that Medusa one just came through right now. But when I went through to check the Wadjet entry earlier, I was like, hold on. Ain't just like, hold on there. This is not everybody for this. And plus, another key aspect to it is the relationship. There must be equivalent energy exchange and relationship had with the deity. So that's another aspect to it. So if I'm gonna give it to y'all, it's a little cheap, so gotta be another give to it. Now Bune in here, what she was trying to show me who she was, what aspect she was coming with. She had told me, right, she was like, to not get stuck in like in her looks, right? Because like niggas was like, goddamn. So she was like, don't get stuck in the looks, and to just look in her eyes, just focus on her eyes, right? That's how you connect to them and really get more understanding and focus. You're closer with these deities, a deeper connection with them, right? When you're talking to any deity or any spirit, look them in their eyes. All right, don't just look at their whole being the whole time. Look around. That's how you're gonna lose focus. Look into their eyes. All right, like a portal. And when I looked into her eyes, that's when I finally realized who exactly she was, like what form she was trying to, she had like solidified herself as. And I knew exactly what girl, but actually exactly which woman she was showing herself as. And I was like, why her? And then as soon as I like asked that internally, I understood why. I was like, okay, because this woman is literally, you know how we all have one thing we have in psychology, right? I think it's Carl Jung. They have like the anima and animus. I think for the males we have an anima, so that would be like your dream woman, the dream woman. I have a whole bunch of dream girls, but this is one of them she had showed up as. And this girl, I was like, good lord. But she got her own thing, got her own shit going, independent, spiritual, heavy spiritual, sing, do music, gas. All right. Now, was she showing up as her? Why was she showing up as her? What emotion was she trying to invoke in me? What emotion was she trying to invoke in me by showing up as her in that moment? What was she trying to get me to understand? Because my whole thing was subconsciously going on, because it was in the subconscious. Why, if I like this girl, if I like this woman, why can't I have her? Why can't I get her? Something was telling me that I can't do it, right? So I was like, you already got shit going for yourself, but my thing is, I can't get you. Why is that? And then this was the gnosis. This is what Bune told me, and this is what made me understand what Bune was really doing. This is symbology. Okay, she said it's not about the value or the amount of things, it's about the consistency in the thought. Seeing how bad or how much you really want it, and what will you do to prove it. But now that we're here and we see, I got you. Now see, this is my like 5th time doing this video. This is my 5th time trying to record this shit. All right, that's one thing. So in this, it's basically saying how much, it's talking about matters of the heart. Okay, it's talking about how much do you really want, how much are you willing to show up, how much are you willing to act. All right, how much do you really want it? Because if you really want something, if you really want to do something, trying to manifest something, you will put in the actions to do it and the steps to do it, because you will naturally do it. It's just we call that the phenomenon of the Ace of Wands. All right, and my interpretation for the Ace of Wands, my new interpretation for it, has been being in sync with your soul. All right, with your spirit. And then being in sync with your spirit, you are like naturally in a flow. You're naturally in a flow. You're like naturally guided, because you're naturally driven by your passion. So you naturally know where to go. The light, you have a torch over your wand, and that guides you. So it's automatic. So, and that's another aspect to it, was that made me understand what she was really saying, was how she was like, or how Bune is a wealth demon. She's a spirit of abundance, finance, prosperity. And one thing from Panic that I learned from Panic was, he had said on one of his old lectures, he was talking about how the key to money magic, to manifesting wealth, to manifesting any abundance, is you have to do what you love. You have to do what you love. If you're not doing what you love, you are not going to be rich at all, period. Because you have to, one, have enough energy to see it all the way through, and you're only going to have enough energy if you're doing what you love, truly. So it's key that you know what is your passion. If you don't have a passion, you need to find one. You need to find it. Then if you want to discover your passion, or even hone in on your passion and make it even stronger, what you can do is meditate and path work at the Ace of Wands tarot card. I'll put a picture up of it, or you can just look it up on Google. But have it out and just scry into it, meditate in it, interpret it, decode it, just sit with it, or just have it out like a poster, like have it out in your periphery. Use it as your background wallpaper. You let it get in and seep into your subconscious. All right, that energy will naturally flow out. But that Ace of Wands, the fire element, is also dealing with your passion, with your sexual energy, with your drive, your spirit. All right. So she showed up as old girl because I'm attracted to old girl, but it's an aspect to it that I felt that I couldn't get. So in her showing up as her, right, she also was showing up as an aspect of myself, because it's as above so below is a reflection. And as well, it's saying, open this back up, so it's saying that I can't do it. That's what it's saying that I can do it, and this is why. This is how. This is the alchemy. This is the real gem sauce. All right, because I had to remember this, because this takes into the whole next stage of where we're going with this, because this is the true sauce. All right. When you're in the subconscious, in these realms, you have to remember some key things that are first told to you when you get into spirituality or in esoterics. Certain things like all is the mind, like you are the God of this shit, you are the one, you are the creator of this shit. Those are certain things you need to remember, right? So in that, you need to remember that you still control your thoughts, even in these path workings. Even though you're getting all this information, talking to the ancients, you still control your thoughts. So as I seen old girl and picked up, it was a matter of why that I was seeing her as seeing Bune as this woman, because I felt that I couldn't get her. Understand that before I did this path working, this working with Bune, my relationship with Bune was kind of shaky mentally, if I'm being real. But now it's been a little much profound. I can say very profound. Shout out Bune for real. But what happened, what Bune showed me, while she was showing up as that girl, and what she was trying to show me was that it is a matter of as man thinketh. All right, it's simply as that. It's really as simply as that your mind is your own blockage. Your mind is the only thing that these limiting beliefs, subconscious beliefs, your own restrictions are only yourself. Okay, so like example, in the beginning of the path where I was able to see that mountain and teleport to it, that's I just climbed the whole mountain, accomplished the whole goal, a whole hurdle, and I did that shit naturally. And the way I did it was simply as man thinketh. I just did it. So that same thing applies to getting the girl, to getting the woman, as well as to getting the abundance, getting the prosperity. All these things are in play. All these things are in play. As well as another thing that was coming through in the tarot was the Empress card. Oh girl, she's definitely the Empress. Definitely the Empress. So in all of that, it's talking about these subconscious symbols, all talking to me as well as aspects of myself, right? Unlocking these aspects, becoming one with them and understanding them. And so when I seen So what I got from it after that was, like I said, it was simply a matter of changing the mind. So like I said, it's all about as man thinketh. You can do it, you just need to know it. Simple as that. You just need to simply know it. It's that simple. If you can think it, you can imagine it, it's real. Simply. And when I'm in these subconscious realms, this is the most powerful, because this is where you do the reprogramming. You change the programming. Alright. So this is what happened when I actually did change my mind and have the realization from being I can't have her, can't get her, to now I can, or I definitely can. She want me. Goddamn. Whole energy in the path working shifted. So here's how it shifted. From we was at the dinner table, she was to my right. It shifted. We was in the hot tub, she was to my left. Very interesting. I was looking at her. I was looking at her like a meal. She was looking amazing in this hot tub. All right. She was still in old girl's form. But she still had the, like I said, the hair. She had like old girl's face, but she had the hair and shit. The green with the blonde to the snakes. And I was like, okay. I was just like, God. And then she looked at me and she was like, you know what it is? You know what it is. And when I opened my eyes, when I looked at the candle flame was tall as shit, going crazy. Now then I sat back in, was going to see what's going on, what's next. And then I just remember what Bune had said. Don't get lost. Look into my eyes. So I went back looking into her eyes. Next thing I know, she mounts me. Starts grinding shit on my neck and shit. I can feel the arousal, the sexual energy going crazy in the lower sexual organs. And then just as we was finna go crazy, my fucking door opened. I was like, and I was taken out the trance right at that. I was like, God. The niggas was called upon. Niggas was summoned. But but that took me to what was telling me what was the next stage, right? Because like I said, the door opened above in the physical world, but what happened was we started getting into the tantric aspect, the spiritual sex aspect, in the spiritual. So a new door opens, gateway. And then lately, after that, what I started picking up on was a work of the heart. Like I said, with the Ace of Wands, being in sync with your passion, what you love to do. That would also be matters of the heart. So, like I said, Bune is much more than a money and wealth demon. As well as money and wealth, abundance, prosperity is much more than monetary gain, material things. Because this here, to me, this right here is, this spiritual knowledge right here is priceless. But Bune wants it forth. She wants me to bring it forth. But I'm telling you right now, this is some profound shit, okay? And this is all symbols from the subconscious. All right, you can do this too. I want you to understand that you can do this too. Check out my meditation and magic 101 video, as well as do your own research, understand how to work with these energies and connect to them, because not all path workings, not all rituals are going to be the same. All right, not every key is going to work to unlock the same thing. All right, but I'm here to bring forth my gnosis, my experiences, what I've seen, and it's profound, man. This is the, what I say is spiritual work, man. This is going within. All right. Inner alchemy. Okay. And the key to it is essentially imagination and self-hypnosis. Them are the keys to it, really. At a real practical level, imagination and self-hypnosis. Because once you get into the altered brain states, because when you get into these altered brain states, these trances, sinking into your subconscious, especially with an intent, going into these other worlds, within or external, the messages come right through, and in a way that you can explain it and understand it. It's just about a matter of how deep does your knowledge go, how vast is your lens, how much can you see. All right. But yeah, that was the Bune pathway and the experience to ancient kemet. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I appreciate y'all coming through and listening, getting the synopsis. All right. I appreciate you being about your spiritual work and about your research, about learning about Bune. So that's why you should be here. Find out more about this ancient goddess, ancient god. All right. Now I understand. I know Bune will come through as a he or she. For me, she mainly comes out as a she, as we sing. But like I said, okay, if you want to catch that Jet deity study, subscribe to my Patreon. Look out for the Medusa deity study. Is that one? Did I do that on Patreon? I think I got the Medusa. Yeah, I did a Medusa deity study. That's on the Patreon. Yeah, the Medusa deity study is on the Patreon. Yeah, I did that one. I don't even think I mentioned Bune in that one. That's what I'm saying. That was deep in the channel. But we might spin the block on that one. But definitely check out the Jet John. But next time, though, before we go, let me give y'all what's next time on the Bune saga. We will be looking at chapter 1. I think it's either chapter 1 or the introduction of the Master Key System, the book, The Master Key System. That is where she led me to next after I did that path working, and from reading it, what it told me was, like I said, as a man thinketh. It's all about how you think. So that will be the next video in the Bune saga next week. And I'll hope y'all catch me live, catch that video. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, turn on the notifications to catch any other videos I'm dropping, any messages, any decodes. We got a lot of videos coming, a lot of content coming. So make sure y'all tap in. Now until next time, make sure you're drinking your water, breathing, and seeing. See.